Hey guys, it's Avondale, and welcome back to Behind the Walls, where I take you behind the walls of the Noxcrew Gameshow. I'd like to remind you, as always, if you haven't seen today's episode yet, make sure to click the link in the top right-hand corner of your screen so I don't spoil it for you. So right now I'm outside of the Shave Cave, which is where Yuleshave takes place, and I'm recording alone today. One thing led to another, and turns out it's just me, so I'll tell you guys a little bit about how this game came around, as well as the way it played out in the episode, and then I'll reflect back a little bit on some other stuff from the season. So, I came up with the idea for Yuleshave based on a pun. I don't really even know where the pun came from, but I was talking to Emos pretty late one night, and I thought it would be funny. I think I tried to say how the Grinch saved Christmas, and it came out as how the Grinch shaved Christmas. And so that was the initial idea for this game, was the players play as a bunch of Grinches, right? And the idea is that it's the middle of summer and Santa's about to go on vacation, so he needs to get his beard shaved, because who would want to have a big, thick, woolly beard when you're down in the Bahamas on your vacation? That was the idea for the game, and really, I mean, the entire game was formulated in about 5 minutes. I was just thinking about how you get, a professional shave from a barbershop, and it's a guy with a razor, and he also has shaving cream, and you can wash it out as well. And I realized it'd make a really interesting mechanic for a game, and that was literally where it came along. This game went up really fast as well. Emos did most of the terraforming, and I actually think Ritter's helped out a little bit as well, which is unusual. But then Skyo built the heads, and there were some other Noxcrew builders around that helped decorate the inside of this cave, which really did turn out to look pretty cool. So why didn't it continue to be called How the Grinch Shaved Christmas? Noxite vetoed it. It made me sad. I understand why he did it, but at the same time, when you heard Yuleshave, and also with the editing mistake, you heard Shaving Santa in the first Decision Dome we ever had this in, it kind of gave away actually what we were going to be doing in this game. Like, it was too obvious. And How the Grinch Shaved Christmas was a lot more, I guess, mysterious, and that was the main thing I would have liked to see had that name stuck around, was just the mystery that would have surrounded it when you heard that name pop up on the Decision Dome. So one interesting thing I want to talk about before I tell you what happened during the game and sort of walk through the strategies is we weren't entirely sure that we were going to let this game be played or not, and I think in hindsight we're still not sure if it was the right move. Here was the thing about this game, right? It had really neat gameplay, it's fun to watch, it's a quirky idea, but at the same time, it's not that it's not competitive, it's that it's difficult to see how the competition is playing out. And I'll see if I can explain that for you a little bit. You heard some of the contestants even say it during the episode. You heard them say, how are we doing compared to them? And one of them would say, I think we're doing a little bit better, or something like that. Utilizing this concept in this way was neat to watch, but it was tough to tell who was actually ahead, because it's sort of an abstract overall, I mean, it's a beard, you can start shaving it from anywhere, and it gets a little bit difficult to compare the progress of two teams when you do it that way. Thinking about it in hindsight, we could have used the same concept, but instead of having it take place in a beard form, we could have done, like, imagine we get rid of the whole Santa Claus thing entirely, and you have like a capture point that's made out of like your team's block or something that you have to come up and break. Or it wouldn't be made out of your team's block, it would be like, let's say you had this thing right here, it's 27 blocks. You still had to change them into wool, and you would throw like snowballs at it or whatever, and it would change it into wool, and then you could break it. And you still had the washer doing his job, but let's say there was about 5 of these in a line. If you had 5 of these in a line, you could hear the point sound every time somebody broke one of these. You could have a scoreboard that showed the progression. It would be a lot easier to do that. we had this idea when we were thinking about how to film this game that we were going to basically put a camera right here, as well as one on the other side, so we could show a side-by-side comparison of the beard progress, and that was how we were going to show it. But I still think it removed a little bit of that certainty from it, and that was what made it kind of maybe a little bit confusing to see who had won. As a result of that, we were considering, actually, if it came down to the last game of the game show, which it did, we were considering rigging it off the Decision Dome for that third one, just removing it from consideration. The reason we didn't do that, though, was, basically, we thought we were going to do it coming into the show. And if we played 2 games, and if somebody was winning 2-0, we would rig Yuleshave off, so there was no way it got picked as the final game, just because we were worried about that. But we had this thought while we were watching it. We were looking at the rest of the games on the Decision Dome for it. You have Sprint, which is entirely parkour, which Ungentlemen were proving to be ridiculous at. You have Dodge Bolt and Domination, which were PvP games, which they'd already shown that they were ridiculous at. I think City was on there as well, which is another PvP game. You're looking at these games that are on the Dome, shoot 'em up as well, and you're thinking, geez, Evac Crew might have a chance at Yuleshave, and Ungentleman looks way too strong to give them a chance at any other game. That was ultimately what caused us to leave it on the Decision Dome, and it played out really interesting, actually, in the episode, because you think about it, right? Like, Evac Crew was out to a pretty early lead, and we thought for sure that they had the game in their hands, but there was really 2 things that Ungentlemen did differently from them that ended up swinging the game back in their favor when they made that ridiculous comeback from behind. The first one was Dwitty figured out that you could block the arrows with your body.
Oh, you guys might be doing better.
Oh, I took the arrow.
Dwitty is body blocking those arrows. That's genius.
I tried to get in the way of my shots.
We told them beforehand we didn't want people shooting each other because we'd seen it in testing where the guy with the arrow would shoot the guy with the snowballs and shoot him off and kill him, and it didn't create the gameplay we were looking for, so we said just don't shoot each other on purpose. But Dwitty, totally within the rules, decided he was going to try to block the arrows coming from Evac Crew. It was a brilliant strategy, and it really slowed down their ability to hinder the progress of Ungentlemen, I guess. The second thing that Ungentlemen did that really made the biggest difference in the game, in my opinion, is they were methodical with their beard. It wasn't a patchy shave like Evac Crew was giving. They started at the top, they worked their way down one side, they did the middle, and then they worked their way down the other side. And it meant that because they worked from top down on both sides, it meant that there was always something to stand on while you were shaving the stuff below you. If you shave out these bottom parts first just because you can reach him, all of a sudden you have to get on the higher parts of his face, and there's less blocks you can reach at once. It just gets a little awkward, but it was really that change in strategy that did it up for him. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the game. I'm actually going to take you guys down and show you the redstone real quick. So let's pop down there. This is immediately below the game. If you go up there, you're underneath the starting platform in the middle. Pretty dark room. This clock right here is just what takes care of the fill replace commands that you run on the snowballs and the arrows, as well as it'll kill you if you're in a certain radius, and it does the effect on the bow to make it look like water. These are the original names of the positions. There was the shaver, the creamer, and the squirter was what we called the washer, but we decided to change that as well. Then it's really basic logic for this game, really. This is the completion checker right here, and it's just completion checking to these Santa heads down below, which are pretty dark, so let me night vision myself real quick. Yeah, these are the completed Santa versus the original Santa that we cloned in to make it. And basically the way that it's checking for the win is it's just comparing this area here that the beard takes place in to the area up above, and when they match, it gives you a game over. So that was it. 19 games in, and we have a winner. Ungentleman made it all the way through the tournament bracket without losing a game. It was some of the most impressive Minecrafting I've ever seen. These games aren't easy, you know? You learn the rules for them 5 minutes before you play them. You're playing under tournament pressure, knowing if you get knocked out, it's over. There's cameras flying around you all the time, and these people wanted to win, and that's what made their performance so impressive to me, really. Just the fact that they were able to win every type of game, no matter what was thrown at them, and most of them in really convincing fashion as well. It was very impressive, and honestly, I would be surprised if we ever saw a team go undefeated through the game show again. I mean, you saw the entire pilot season. It never failed. Each team managed to win a game no matter what the circumstances were. And the fact that Ungentleman swept the floor with everyone was really impressive. So I guess what's next is the question you might be wondering. I have a couple of loose ends to tie up with Behind the Walls, so you'll probably see a video here pretty shortly about those loose ends. I'm just going to go back and cover a couple things that I forgot to hit during episodes throughout the season. And then after that, unfortunately, my channel might slow down just a little bit. I'm going to have to focus my time over to a couple of new projects that the Noxcrew are starting up, as well as getting some stuff ready for Twitch streaming the game show, and a couple of other things. I don't really know what I'm allowed to talk about yet, but I'll just say that I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to continue to try to put out at least one video a week and also do at least one stream a week, so there's sort of a, so you guys, basically, I still want to see you guys. It's been a really fun ride having 2 episodes of a show a week on my channel, and it's been, 3 months that I've been able to keep that up. So, yeah, I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. I've been Avondale. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, it's Avondale, and welcome back to Behind the Walls, where I take you behind the walls of the Noxcrew Gameshow. Oh, I came up with the idea for Yuleshave based on a pun. I don't really even know where the pun came from, but I was talking to Emos pretty late one night, and I thought it would be funny. I think I tried to say how the Grinch saved Christmas, and it came out as how the Grinch shaved Christmas. And so that was the initial idea for this game, was the players play as a bunch of Grinches, right? And the idea is that one thing led to another, and turns out it's just me. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about how this game came around, as well as the way it played out in the episode, and then I'll reflect back a little bit on some other stuff from the season. So I'd like to remind you, as always, if you haven't seen today's episode yet, make sure to click the link at the top right-hand corner of your screen so I don't spoil it for you. So right now I'm outside of the Shave Cave, which is where Yuleshave takes place, and I'm recording alone today.